Hello, this is EL lesson number 5. Today we will be reading a book by Trudy Ludwig called The Invisible Boy. Say it with me, the title, The Invisible Boy. How many syllables? Invisible. Invisible. Before we get started, many of you came to school and received some workbooks. If you have not, please reach out to your teacher. Module lessons 1 through 2. I am currently looking at page 9. Here is the word, invisible. Say it with me, invisible. Definition, not able to be seen. So invisible means not able to be seen. The invisible boy, a boy that is not able to be seen. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outside voice inside too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Oh, so those two kids are taking up a lot of the teacher's attention. Here he is. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. And there's Brian. So we've already been introduced to many characters. Brian, our main character, Mrs. Carlotti, Sophie, and was it Nathan and Nathan? When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT, more characters, take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first. Then the best friends of the best players. There they are, picking teams. Then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is left, still waiting and hoping. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. There he goes, not included. And as you can see, this picture is in color. Is he in color? No, he's not. Maybe that's meant to represent how he's invisible. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everyone did except Brian. He wasn't invited. How do you think that would feel to be excluded? When you can try to understand how someone else is feeling, it's called empathy. At choosing time, while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at his table doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons, scaling tall buildings. Thank you for toasting my marshmallow, it says. What the bubble says, what the diet. Thank you for toasting my marshmallow. Space aliens locked in intergalactic battles. I got you now. Great pirates, greedy pirates digging for treasure. Cracker, har, yay! And superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. Hi. Hi, friend, have a cookie. And superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. Oh, that's what he wishes. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student to the class. Brian smiles shyly. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. Cool enough, huh? It's tough. Wow. I would judge somebody on how they treat me, and I think Brian seems pretty nice. We'll see if Justin and Brian end up being friends, won't we? So this is where about the middle of the book. So a new kid comes to the school. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopstick. What's that? Asks Madison as she points at Justin's food. It's bulgogi. Bull what? And the kids laugh. All of them, that is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. Bulgogi, it's Korean barbecued beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. Do you want to try some? That's what Justin is saying. There's no way I'd eat booger ghee. Oh, he's like making fun of it. Booger ghee. The next day when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked good. Brian, yum. And there he drew himself. That's cool. See, he wrote him a little note. Many of you got a letter from me the other day. And you can write me back. If you need my address, I'll give it to you. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. You're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. I used to play tetherball. I love tetherball. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asked the kids to team up in 2s or 3s for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads toward Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Find someone else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. Mrs. Carlotti said we could have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio. Let him work with us. Okay, I guess. Oh, so he is going to work with the group. Yay. Justin reached out. This is great. There's a new energy in the class with the new kid. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in this photograph. That looks like it could be in Copenhagen in Denmark or something. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Amelia. What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles and he takes out his lucky pen. Oh, see, look at that is so cool. They're going to use their imagination to write a story about what they see in the photograph, and that's the photograph. What would you write about? Oh, here they are working on the story. Here's some illustrations of them working on the story together. Can you see? Yeah, really cool, really cool. They present, here they're presenting. Wow. It's lunchtime again. Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears someone shout. Hey, Brian, over here. Look at, he's waiting by the door and then Justin's calling out to him. Brian turns and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Maybe, just maybe, Brian is not so invisible after all. What happened to Brian? Do you see the color? Did it change? It went from black and white to color. Cookie, thanks. and they're sharing. I think it's always a good idea to be kind. I don't know about you, but if you agree, let me know. But I think it's always a good idea to be kind. All right, we are going to start on page 9 in our new module 1 through 2, grade 2 books. Okay, so the definition of invisible is not able to be seen. Here, we need to put it in a sentence. So the word invisible in a sentence. And here are similar and related words: unnoticed, unseen, hidden, out of sight, and see-through. So let's try to come up with a sentence about Brian and how he was unseen, out of sight, unnoticed. Can you come up with a sentence about Brian? So Brian felt unseen by his classmates. That will be my sentence. Now, if you don't have a book yet, you need to be doing this on paper. So here's my sentence. Brian felt unseen by his classmates. And you see my period at the end. Now here I'm going to draw a picture. So I want to draw a picture of Brian. He has glasses. He's way better at drawing than me. And I'll say Cookie. And here's my picture. I bet you could even take more time and do a better picture. But this is your assignment for lesson 5 on the invisible boy. So you're drawing a picture and a sentence. Brian felt unseen. I didn't use the word invisible, but you could have put invisible there. I used one of these similar or related words. Okay, I can't wait to see what you come up with. I will see you next time.